As promised from the last video, here are my accuracy plots in detail. I tested the accuracy of several crossbow setups to show how attachments influence accuracy. I tested 5 classes, 4 of which are from my previous video, and fired 15 shots each time and plotted each impact mark. I had the 4-powered scope equipped, my weapon mounted, and held my breath for each shot to make sure aiming stability was not a factor. This was done at medium range at exactly 50 meters, which I would consider the normal range for the crossbow. Obviously, increasing the distance will only decrease the accuracy, so missing at this range will look far worse at 100 meters and beyond. So, explaining the target a bit, a player's head is almost exactly the size of the yellow bullseye, as you can see here, which we will consider a headshot, and the player's body fits the width of the orange circle. The red circle is somewhat close to where the arms would be, but may be a miss depending on how the target is moving, and teal is considered a miss or possible legs and or outer limb hit. Starting with class 1 that has no attachments, we can see that the general spread is good enough for consistent body shots. Occasionally, a few limbs will be hit, but the important thing is that the grouping shape is diagonal and mostly accurate enough to hit headshots. Class 2 matches the same diagonal shape of the default crossbow, but with a much worse spread, which means headshots will be hard to consistently hit, while body shots are still reliable. I adjusted the plot to be better centered since I fired slightly lower than the center, and we can see how some shots will fly above the target or horizontal enough to miss entirely. Class 4 is by far the most accurate. This is due to the 16-strand cable, and the velocity is increased drastically with the 200-pound arms. This was so accurate I could not actually count all 15 holes because many of the shots landed within each other. All the shots are guaranteed headshots, and this accuracy continues out even to 250 meters, which demonstrates just how accurate this setup is. Class 6 is slightly less accurate than the previous build, but all the shots are still guaranteed headshots. It retains most of the same accuracy over range and can still headshot at 200 meters, but it is safer to aim for the torso. Lastly, we have Class 8, which I see a lot of streamers and YouTube guides recommending. I equipped the 28-strand cable, 200-pound arms, and the Fury bolts. I hear so often how velocity matters more than accuracy because velocity equals more range. This is absolutely false. At 50 meters we have another diagonal shape, though flipped in direction. I adjusted the plot so we can get a better center, and as you can see, there is a lot of horizontal inaccuracy. Even at 50 meters, you have about a 50% chance to hit the body, a 33% chance to hit the head, and everything else will most likely be a complete miss due to the shape, which will shoot down left, which is under the arms, or top right, which is over the shoulder. Be warned, after 100 meters, this setup is painful to use, and you will be lucky to hit anything at all. So don't use this setup unless you plan on keeping your fights 25 meters or closer. And if that's the case, you can drop the 200-pound arms for better ADS attachments. So with that out of the way, we can move on to the zeros for long range.